Someone is very misleading. Watch the truth unveil itself. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder for my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family, someone is very misleading. Watch the truth unveil itself. Somebody drop in the comments and say what's done in the dark will come to the light. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say what's done in the dark will come to the light. Now, when I say misleading, I'm talking about their relationship. It can be that marriage, friends, co-workers, even the people you watch on social media, okay? Because what we fail to realize is that social media can be a smoky mirror, all right? It can be all a facade. People paint this image, they create these perceptions, and they'll have you thinking that your life ain't nothing. They'll have you thinking that your life is terrible, okay? People who you are in a relationship with, they'll have you thinking that they're this way, but behind your back, they're a whole nother. Friendships, okay? And I'm not saying that this is everybody. I want to make sure I make this disclosure and this disclaimer, okay? This is not everybody, all right? Some people are actually good people. Some people are actually here to see the betterment of you. Some people are not here to take and drain. I want to make sure I make that clear. But I'm saying that you want to make sure you be mindful of those who are. And this is why discernment is key. Discernment is everything. You got to make sure that you are utilizing your intuition and discernment for the right people. But once again, y'all, someone is very misleading. Watch the truth unveil itself. A lot of people always say, well, Reno, I don't know how I'm going to be able to see, or I don't know how I'm going to be able to even know when they are lying. Pay attention to their actions. When you allow the truth to unveil itself, basically what you're doing is inviting the real and you're uninviting the fake. The more you keep falling for their perceptions, falling for their lies, the more you keep inviting the fake. But the more you observe, the more you allow them to just talk, because people telling themselves, the more you allow them to just show who they really are, the more you invite the real, the more you invite the truth. All right. So you got to uninvite the fake, okay, by not playing into the perception. And you have to invite the real by being more observative, by being more, watchful of their actions. This is how you do it. And I guarantee you, the truth will unveil itself. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. But family, y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. And yes, y'all, second video of today, we are still right here in front of the legendary gray couch, y'all. Anytime I'm in front of the legendary gray couch, something legendary going to be said, and that's just how they go. But let's go ahead and get directly into it, y'all. So, number one, this is how you know someone is being very misleading, all right? Number one, you have to know them by their fruits, y'all. You have to know them by their fruits, all right? This is where a lot of us go wrong at, because we want to believe that this person is good. We want to believe that this person is chosen. We want to believe that this person is nice. Like, we want to believe that, okay? But do we need to believe that? See, when you know a person by their fruits, this means that you are paying attention to the things that they are bearing, right? You're watching who they are becoming. You're paying attention to the things that they are connecting themselves to. You got to know them by their fruits. Listen, y'all, this is like a person saying, hey, the tree that I have, they are bearing great fruits, right? All of it sounds nice. But every time you look at the peach, every time you look at the apple, every time you look at the orange, it's spoiled. You're looking at the tree and you're looking at the fruit and you're looking at the person who's bearing them or the person who grew them, the farmer, and it's not adding up, right? The farmer looks nice, the tree looks great, but the fruit is rotten. You got to know them by their fruits. Another thing is, when you see a person claim to be righteous, claim to be chosen, claim to be holy, claim to be, spiritual, claim to be a servant of the Most High, right? A believer of Jesus and notifying him as the Son of God. When you see these individuals claim this, that's great. That's beautiful. We need more of it. But every time I see you, you in the club. Every time I see you, you got a drink in your hand. Every time I see you, you have a blunt in your hand, or you're just hanging out where the sinners go consistently. I'm not talking about an experience. I'm not talking about, I'm just trying to have fun for tonight, or I'm trying to enjoy myself, and we just so happen to live in a world full of sinners. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who strategically place themselves in position to be where the sinners are consistently. That's what I'm talking about. Know them by their fruits. A person who says, no, I would never lie to you. I would never hurt you. But you caught them cheating multiple times. Know them by their fruits. In other words, y'all, actions speak louder than words. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Actions speak louder than words. So once again, when I say someone is very misleading, I'm talking about from a social media influencer. I'm talking about from a preacher, pastor. I'm talking about from family members to a relationship, marriages that you're in, co-workers. Okay, whoever this applies to, understand that people can be very misleading. However, the truth will unveil itself. Yeah. Somebody drop in the comments and say the truth will show. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say the truth will show. How do I know if they're misleading me, Reno? You got to know them by their fruits. Point blank, period. Forget what they're telling you. Forget what they're asking you, right? Forget what they're showing you. But pay attention and be very mindful of what they're doing when you're not looking. Be very observant of how they move and navigate when you're not paying attention, or when they think that you're not aware. Yeah, get the real, not the character, but the real. Number 2, y'all, it's going to be this right here. Don't be flattered, okay? Don't be flattered. Flattery is what gets a lot of people in situations that they would have never been in had they eyes were not wide open, and they were starstruck, and, they were zoomed, and a person just kind of seduced them. And by the way, you can seduce male or female without even being sexual. Sometimes, y'all, seducing is just a matter of looking the person in the eyes, sounding a certain way, right? Making things seem, making illusions, right? That's a lot of what seduction is, an illusion. Making a person feel like something is happening that's not really happening. Making a person feel like what you're saying is true when it's not really true. But it feels and sounds and looks good for that particular moment. Seduction, that's all it is. Don't be seduced by a person's money. Don't be seduced by a person's looks. Don't be seduced by their home, okay? I never forget when T.I. was talking about how he went to Kanye's crib, right? When he went to Kanye's crib, he was like, and this was early on, y'all, back like in 2016, 2017, when Kanye was still connected to the black community, when people loved Kanye still, and we were just trying to save him, right? So T.I. said he went to Kanye's crib, and when he went to his crib, he said, I seen how nice he was, and I almost got, deflected or unfocused, right? And he said he had to catch himself like, hey, hold on, man, stay on track, because he said Kanye's crib is beautiful, but that's another form of being seduced, right? So again, a person don't always have to talk in a low tone and have these gloomy eyes and try to get you to fall for their game. It's not even always that. Sometimes, y'all, it's a person having things. Materialistic possessions is a killer. Yeah. You have a Rolls Royce, you pull up in a Rolls Royce, it'll make a person forget their whole thought process. Yeah, you invite a person to your mansion, it'll make a person forget their whole, sentence, right? I'm just saying. So sticking to the point, y'all, don't be flattered by what a person has to show you, because you can be misled quicker than quicksand, y'all. Now, I was watching a movie with Angela Bassett. What's my man from House of Pain? He was on there. He played on Blue Hill Avenue as well, the light-skinned dude, big nose, right? Eddie Murphy, okay. I was just watching that, and I thought it was a good movie. I can tell why I didn't hit the box office and go crazy, but to me, I like it, right? However, Eddie Murphy played a vampire, okay, and he he went seeking for another woman or for a woman to be his, vampire lady, right? And so when he found Angela Bassett, he was like, she's the one. That's the one. So he had been, trying to get her to submit and commit to his, vampire game, I guess you would call it. And so once he figured out how to get to her and how to get her to submit and how to get her to commit, he executed. And once he executed, he got her over to his crib. He pretty much seduced her in so many words. He was very flattering, right? He was very, very flattering. And it caused her to become a vampire unwillingly. He said, all you got to do is say the words yes. She said yes. He bit her, turned her into a vampire. She never wanted it, but she was seduced by his nice apartment, right? Or his nice penthouse. She was seduced by how nice he was as a person. She was seduced by how he presented himself, the way he looked. She was seduced, right? Even a rapper, Future, said this money will seduce you, okay? So again, it's not always about a person intentionally trying to seduce you in a sexual manner, but you can just be seduced by something else that you like outside of that person. But that's what happened, y'all. Eddie Murphy seduced her in so many words, made her a vampire. She was flattered. So don't be flattering, y'all. And from the jump, a person who's misleading is going to always show signs. It's just about you not falling for them being flattering. It's point blank, period. But number 3, y'all, it's going to be this right here. Inconsistency, okay? Inconsistency. A person who's misleading you will always be inconsistent. From the stories that they tell you, from how they talk, from how they walk, from the people that y'all know mutually, from the things that y'all do together, they're going to always be inconsistent because they got to tell one lie to cover up the next lie, to cover up the next lie, to make it seem like the best lie. You see what I'm saying, y'all? It's an ongoing process. It never stops. It never stops. They're going to continuously be inconsistent in all things that they do. All right. It's no different from the social media influencer who was on social media, and they talking all this pro black talk, or they talking this entrepreneur talk, they're talking this chosen one talk, whatever it is, like whatever the key points is, it could be relationships, whatever talk they're talking, and it sounds good for the, for momentarily. But then time progress, and now you're looking at them say, well, I'm not pro-black. I don't care about being an entrepreneur, right? I don't care about relationships. Now I'm about single. I mean, which one is it? You follow what I'm saying? Is all these people doing these being hypocrites and contradicting themselves, and they have no explanation for it, right? I get it. One day we wake up feeling one way. The next day we wake up, feeling another. That's okay. But when it comes to a person flat out lying and being a hypocrite, right, especially with no explanation, it makes it look weird, and it shows their inconsistencies. How is it that your talking point was this, and now we're over here with this? You make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Inconsistencies is how it's a clear indicator that this particular person is misleading, and the truth will unveil itself. It's only so long that a person can be inconsistent without other people calling it out. How many times have you seen social media influencers get called out because people literally sit down and they wait and they watch videos and rewind them back and they cut them and they put them together, and the next thing you know, you have a compilation of a person saying times this person lied, or times this social media influencer said this but actually meant this, times this person contradicted themselves. It's so many videos, y'all, out there that's just like that. It all comes from inconsistency. When you are consistent, it don't matter how many times they cut up a video, put it together, and say this and say that. When you consistent, it's going to always add up to be the same thing, because 1 + 1 = 2. 5 + 5 = 10. I don't care how you got it. It still equals the same thing, baby. So inconsistencies is very important to tell if a person is misleading. Number 4, y'all, is going to be this right here. Blame shifting and projection. All right. Blame shifting and projection. This right here is probably one of the most dangerous ones, because people who are misleading will shift the blame on you. They'll hit you with the switcheroo. They'll have you thinking that you were wrong, or they'll have you thinking that you made a mistake. They'll switch it all up on you and then project onto you. I knew a person who is the type of person that does things like this, right? He would have you to move from your hometown. He'll have you to move out your apartment. He'll have you to move from all that you know, right? He'll encourage you. Man, move. You probably want to do this, man. I'm telling you. And listen, man, I'm doing it too, right? And he'll be the same person who will have you to move out of your comfort zone, your hometown, all that you know. He'll have you to move. And before you know it, this fool a bit moved to another place, and then he'll leave you out there the way you are. I've seen it happen. Let me say this once again, y'all. This particular person is the type of individual who will move, whether it's out the country, it's out the city, out the state, move straight up and be an advocate too. They'll be telling you how you need to move and why you need to move and do it quick. And before you know it, they'll move to a whole nother city, country, state, somewhere else because they are embarking on new endeavors. But you are the one who's left in that place because you followed their instruction and their leadership. Here comes the blame shifting. Well, I ain't just tell you, right? But you encourage me. Which one is it? I ain't put a gun to your head. But you said this was the best decision, and I trusted your leadership. I trusted, you to tell me what was good and what was right to the best of your abilities. Again, someone may say, well, hey, Reno, they didn't put a gun to their head, but this is what I'm talking about when you're dealing with misleading people. It should always be a disclosure or a disclaimer. This is why so many people don't get their money back or refunds back from a product because they didn't read the small disclosure. Yeah, they told you to do this, but in a small nutshell right here, that's like half an inch of a font told you that you wouldn't get your money back even if you called this customer service number. Yeah, that little small disclaimer, this is the same thing or same way of how a misleading person operates. They sell you this big dream and this big story, be very flattering, and they don't tell you that, well, hey, it's a possibility that I may not do the same thing. I'm just telling you to do it. Misleading. And then they will shift the blame as if it was your fault and then project onto you. Project their feelings. Project their emotions. Be very mindful of these people, y'all. Don't follow every social media influencer you see. Don't follow every person who you are in a relationship with. Don't take the word of every friendship. Don't take the word of every family member. There's a lot of misleading people out here. They will lead you to the ocean only to put you in position to drown. They will lead you to the ocean, but leave you in a position to drown. I'm going to say that for the third time, y'all. They will lead you to the ocean, then leave you in position to drown. Many people do this, y'all. The blind is leading the blind. Number 5, it's going to be this right here, y'all. Defensiveness or aggression. Defensiveness or aggression. So now that you've called this misleading person out, you know what they're going to do to you? They're going to be very aggressive, right? They're going to be very defensive. I mean, why are you talking about that? Why are you saying this? Why you got to talk to me like this? I mean, why you can't lower your tone? It'll just be everything and anything with what you have to say because what you have to say is true. Somebody drop in the comments and say, you can't hide from the truth. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say you can't hide from the truth. That's the problem right there, y'all. They will become very defensive when you ask them questions. They will become very defensive when you try to defend yourself. They will become very defensive and aggressive when you say, hey, well, I thought you said, but this happened. And then you said, but didn't happen, right? They're going to get very aggressive. They may call you names. They may try to, gaslight you. They may try to make you feel like what you're saying is not, true or even reasonable to say. They're going to get very aggressive, and you got to be ready for that. That's why I say, y'all, someone is very misleading, but the truth will unveil itself. You just got to be ready and have your eyes open to see the truth. Make sense of what I'm saying, family? Drop in the comments and let me know. But yeah, y'all, this happens all the time. Just a quick recap, and then we'll conclude this video. But number 1, know them by their fruits. Number 2, don't be flattered. All right. Number 3, inconsistency. Number 4, blame shifting and projection. And number 5, y'all, defensiveness or aggression. This happens all the time. Be aware of these misleading people out here in the world. But family, y'all already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all go over to the Rich Mentality Academy. Be sure to join the membership and, meet your tribe, family. Number 2, be sure to book a one-on-one session with your boy if you want to talk to me directly. Of course, y'all, you can get any one of my books. And of course, family, be sure to get you a Yes Sir t-shirt. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.